Sit back. Relax. Enjoy listening. Jill doesn't answer immediately, because now he is choosing his words carefully. Then he looks directly at RK. Brother, do you remember what happened after she called it a transaction? RK's jaw tightens. Immediately, Jill notices. You were angry. RK says nothing. You were disappointed. Still nothing. You kept saying you were done. The room falls quiet, because RK remembers that day perfectly. Jill continues. You spent the entire day convincing yourself that you didn't care anymore. RK lowers his eyes. Yeah. The answer comes quietly, because at the time he believed it. Jill nods once. Then explain something to me. RK looks up. Jill leans forward slightly. If you really stopped caring. He pauses. If she really became just another person. Another pause. Then why did you forget all of that the second you heard there was a fire in her building? RK freezes. The question lands immediately. Jill doesn't stop. I was there, brother. His voice stays calm. I saw you. You didn't stop to think. You didn't stop to ask questions. You didn't even wait for complete information. RK's grip tightens around the pin. Jill continues. You heard there was a fire. And suddenly nothing else mattered. The room grows quiet. You ran. RK looks away. Jill keeps going. You ran like you were afraid of what you might find when you got there. A small silence follows. You knew firefighters were already there. You knew security was already there. You knew there were people far more qualified than either of us. Jill's eyes stay on RK. But you still went. You still ran into that building. RK says nothing, because he remembers. Every second of it. Jill waits. Then continues quietly. And then she disappeared. RK's jaw tightens harder. You remember that night? Jill asks. You remember what you looked like? RK doesn't answer. Because he does. Jill doesn't need one. You weren't sleeping. You weren't eating. You weren't listening to anybody. You kept searching. The room feels smaller now. You had already decided you were done with her. Jill's voice softens slightly. But somehow you spent the entire night trying to find her. RK lowers his gaze. Jill keeps going. And then there is the part one still can't understand. That makes RK look up. Jill holds his gaze. Brother, you have rules. The ones you live by. RK stays quiet, because he knows exactly where this is going. You follow them even when they hurt you. You follow them even when it would be easier not to. A pause. When that scandal happened. Brother, do you remember that false accusation? RK's expression hardens immediately. What about it? RK asks. Jill doesn't look away. The footage. The restaurant footage. RK stays silent. The footage that could have cleared your name. A small silence follows. The footage that could have proved you never touched that girl. RK's jaw tightens. Jill. No, listen, Jill says. You remember what happened. The hotel refused to release it. They kept hiding behind privacy laws. Everyone knew the footage existed. Everyone knew it could help you. RK looks away. Because he remembers. Every second of it. Jill continues. Member 4 was desperate. I was desperate. We were watching your name get dragged through the mud every day. So we tried to get the footage another way. RK's fingers tightened slightly. We contacted people we shouldn't have contacted. We tried to use people you would never use. A pause. And when you found out. Jill lets the memory sit. You were furious. RK doesn't answer. Because that's true. You told us it was wrong. You told us you would rather stand in court and tell the truth than when using something illegal. The room grows quiet. You remember saying that? A long silence. Then RK nods once. Yeah. Jill keeps watching him. You were willing to risk your career, your reputation, everything, before you crossed that line. RK lowers his eyes. Then Jill asks quietly, so what happened when SV disappeared? RK freezes. Immediately, Jill notices. Because suddenly none of those rules mattered. The silence becomes heavier. Nobody could find her. Security couldn't find her. The search teams couldn't find her. Hours kept passing. And what did you do? RK says nothing, because he already knows. Jill continues. You called my friend. The same type of help you refused to use when your own life was falling apart. RK's grip tightens around the pen. You asked him to pull traffic cameras. You asked him to track routes. You asked him to find anything that could lead to her. Jill leans forward slightly, not accusing, just asking. Why, brother? RK doesn't answer. Jill continues quietly. When it was your name on the line. You chose your principles. When it was SV. He lets that hang. You crossed a line you wouldn't cross even for yourself. Silence. Long. Heavy. Then Jill asks quietly. Do you do that for everyone, brother? RK freezes. Because this time the answer comes immediately. No. Not because someone explained it. Not because Jill convinced him. Because RK already knows. He wouldn't.